it every 21 days? Do we know why that cycle was followed?
It's a moon. It's something akin to a moon cycle. But there are several theories about that. He of course denies this now. He's pleaded not guilty.
Right.
But there's overwhelming evidence.
Now, where does the title "Sleep My Little Dead" come from?
"Sleep My Little Dead" comes from that letter there that was sent in '94 to the Post, which included a code, a very strange sort of a flag totem pole code.
Okay.
And I deciphered this with Al Nemser. I decided that these were some kind of code, and I isolated it as an alphabet. And then it was too small to do using like real decoding methods, but we got lucky. I decided that he was going to say what it says up here. This is the Zodiac speaking, and that's actually what it says, left to right, top to bottom. This is a T, this is an H, I-S, and then when the symbols repeated, the I-S here and the I-S here for this is,
right.
I knew we had it. I banged the table, you know, like, all right. And in this message, he said, this is the Zodiac speaking,
right.
just like the San Francisco guy. Be ready for more. You know, he'd say, I am in control, who mastery, and be ready for more. Yours truly.
Had you ever broken codes before?
Actually, yes. I've been doing research in the years before this for a historical novel called Dead Letters.
Right.
And it was about cryptography. I actually did do a little deciphering. I deciphered a code in an Edgar Allan Poe poem that hadn't been found in over 150 years. He used, well, I won't get into it because that book hasn't been published yet.
Okay.
But that's how I did it. But no, this is my first full code that I've deciphered. And it was very exciting. This is the point where the game was afoot.
Right.
You know, this is where I'm really into it. And then I did then it later got personal.
Right. Now, before we get into that, I want to point out this to our right, this New York Post front page.
Yeah.
This is about the breaking of the code.
Mm-hmm.
Be ready for more. Now, how many stories had you done on this particular case up to that point?
Up to that point, at least a dozen. At least a dozen, and others had done more. It was all over television, radio, newspapers. We had done a whole bunch of stories, and I had been out hunting for Zodiac with a photographer who used to carry a gun. And we were going out, you know, through East New York, basically responding, trying to find this guy. I even know, matter of fact, I was talking to Larry Seary from NBC. It turns out, I just found out he went out with a bulletproof vest and a cane pretending to be crippled, because Zodiac shot crippled people.
Right.
He was actually risking being shot. Actually, I didn't think of that. I might have done that myself.
Do you get the sense when you're kind of looking, you're in part of the city and you're looking around at the neighborhood and you feel like the killer is there? I mean, what's going through your mind? I mean, what do you? Are you basically just asking, like, where are you? Where would I be if I was this guy?
It gets in. Yeah, you're trying to get into this guy's head, and that's a very strange place to be. And you can't really get completely inside it because you're trying to predict the future, what he's going to do or what he's not going to do, and when. That's tough, but it's a very spooky feeling because you go in the neighborhood and people are carrying guns and they're saying he lives up in the cemeteries, he stays in he only comes out at night, and I got my gun. And then you walk through the parks at night and you see the Santeria, the sacrifice with the chicken and the blood and all this and stuff. But it's just a normal thing in the city park, But it gets very strange, and you keep you're looking over your shoulder because you could be talking to this guy. And I was talking to one guy who had a gun who looked like one of the sketches, and I'm thinking this could be the guy. It wasn't, but you don't know.
Now, you mentioned before it got personal at one point. You were trying to get into this guy's head, and you started feeling during the investigating this as a reporter that he was trying to get back at you.
Well, after I deciphered the code, I got some strange phone calls. I got some strange letters, one of which claimed to be Zodiac. And he said, when he picked up the phone, he said, "Kieran, this is the Zodiac speaking." And he said, "I know your sign." And that was, I just froze, and I said, "What's my sign?"
Right.
And he said, "You know what your sign is." And then when I pressed him and he didn't tell me, I knew he was a fake.
Right.
But if he had come up with my real sign, that would have been very scary. I was trying to get inside his head, but what concerned me was, for a brief period there, I was concerned he was trying to get in my house. Right. I went on a national TV show, and I issued a challenge to him. I looked at the camera and I said, you know, we have to move this on to another phase. Please call me before you kill again, and this kind of stuff. And I figured because I had deciphered the code that, you know, he would at least call and the killings would stop. Killings did stop, but I never got a confirmed call from this guy.
Right.
But 3 weeks after that aired, someone broke into my house. And the burglar alarm went off, and cops came, but nothing was taken. 2 weeks later, it happened again. And, you know, at that point, I mean, I had the mugshot. My wife was very nervous.
Right.
And it got very personal. When I was on the TV show, a detective friend said, "Buddy, you got some death wish." And I said, "Well,
Right.
why? I just said to the guy to call me." He says, "Well, you know, you don't want this guy. This guy could call you, or he could meet you in person.
Right.
You don't want to meet him in person."
Right, absolutely. Now,